Try to remember what it was like back in second, third, maybe fourth grade when you talked about plate tectonics. The teacher comes in, okay kids, look at the map of the world. Notice how the pieces kind of fit together like a jigsaw puzzle? Well, once upon a time they were, but because everything is floating on top of hot lava, they drifted apart. Do you remember that? Does anybody remember having a problem with that idea? If you're like most kids, you probably said, okay, cool, sounds legit. But the guy who originally came up with that idea, Alfred Wegener, back in 1913, I think, he presented that idea to other scientists, and they all thought he was an idiot. They said, this is the dumbest idea ever. So why is it when a teacher tells an idea to a bunch of kids, we accept it without question? But when a no-name scientist explains the same idea to a bunch of other established scientists, they don't believe him. They think he's an idiot. Why is that? According to a lot of psychological studies, not least Dr. Cialdini, whenever an idea comes from a recognized authority relative to us, when there's a large kind of authority gradient, we almost accept the idea without question. But when the idea comes from a no-name person that we don't know, that's the dumbest idea ever. Same idea from an authority, we believe it. But from someone that's equal or less than us authority-wise and somebody we don't know, that's the dumbest idea ever. In this speech, I'll give 3 historical examples of that structure. Authoritative person, idea, and examples where the idea got into the brains of many, many people and had a huge impact on society. The first is Sun Tzu. Does anybody know Sun Tzu? He is a very famous Chinese general back in the BC. Back before the Empire of China was created, back around 200-300 BC, there was all these different warring states trying to take over the entire place. And when you have a couple hundred years of all these warring states trying to take over, it's kind of like a free market for battle strategies. And after a couple hundred years, you have a lot of very, very effective battle strategies that kind of evolve out of this period. So this guy, Sun Tzu, collected all the best battle strategies, put them together in a book, and he called the book The Art of War. Then the Chinese government made sure that everybody learned these battle strategies from The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Legend has it that when the British Empire was battling for global domination, they had all their naval officers study and master the strategies in the art of war to help them take over the world, so to speak. The problem with this idea is, or not the problem, but the strange thing about this idea is that Sun Tzu, according to historians, probably didn't exist. Somewhere along the line, somebody took all these very useful ideas and made up this authority figure to make sure everybody accepted these ideas. Had they not done that, the art of war, these ideas wouldn't have gotten anywhere. It would be a collection of battle strategies by some person that nobody's ever heard of before. So either by accident or on purpose, this kind of legend evolved to be a delivery system for these very useful battle ideas. The next example of this structure, authority idea, came during World War II, when Hitler was building the bomb, the atom bomb. And this was when a lot of scientists were fleeing Europe. And these scientists knew that if Hitler got the bomb before America did, it would be huge, huge trouble. It would be like that TV show, The Man in the High Castle, an alternate universe where the Nazis win World War II. The problem that these scientists had was nobody knew who they were. They needed to get this idea to the president that Hitler's building a bomb. If we don't do that, we're in big, big trouble. So what did they do? They went to talk to their buddy Einstein, who back then was a huge popular celebrity. He had won a Nobel Prize, and he was a celebrity after proving his theory of general relativity in Africa during a solar eclipse. which made him sound kind of like Dr. Strange back in the 30s and 40s. So these scientists approach Einstein and explain the problem, and Einstein says, okay, I'll write a letter to FDR. So FDR gets this letter, Hitler's building a bomb. If we don't build a bomb first, we're all doomed. Signed, your pal, Einstein. Einstein, oh my God, we better build a bomb quick. And that's when they started the Manhattan Project. They leveraged the authority of Einstein to get this idea out there. Had they not done that, who knows what the world would be like today. This next example is a very, very negative example of using an authority to get a bad idea out there. This comes from David Stockman's book, The Great Deformation, which is about all the financial shenanigans leading up to the panic of 2008. And understand this, you need to understand a little bit about how the futures markets work. You have a corn farmer, you have a corn tortilla factory. The corn tortilla factory would rather have the price of corn locked in as soon as possible. The corn farmer would rather have the price of his corn locked in as soon as possible so they can plan their businesses. So they buy and sell contracts, futures contract, through the futures market. So the corn seller knows what price he's going to get 6 months ahead of time. The corn tortilla factory knows what price they're going to pay 6 or so months ahead of time so they can plan their business. The futures market exists to take the uncertainty out of pricing. So anytime there's uncertainty, the futures market is the perfect solution for growing corn, for pork bellies, for orange juice, for metal, silver, gold that they have to dig out of the ground. Where this futures market doesn't work is for things that are uncertain. So there was this guy back in the 70s, and he wanted to create a futures market for currency, which is kind of a dumb idea because currency is not really that uncertain. Currency is a function of decisions made by governments. So this guy, this nobody, goes around to all these financial institutions and says, hey, let's start a futures market for currency. They all said, dude, that's the dumbest idea ever. Get out of here. Nobody knew who he was. He got shut down. So he has this bright idea. He goes to Milton Friedman, who had just won a Nobel Prize in economics, and said, hey, Dr. Friedman, if I give you this big sack of cash, will you put your name on this proposal? And Friedman said, sure, why not? So this same guy with the same dumb idea goes to the same people, only this time Nobel Prize winner Milton Friedman's name is on top of this proposal. And all these people that said this was a dumb idea before, they looked at it, they saw his name and said, hey, this is a great idea. Which, according to David Stockman, completely distorted the market and moved the market closer to what he calls the Wall Street casino, which is one of the main things leading up to what happened in 2008. All these guys coming up with all these different goofy investment strategies to have different things to gamble on. So Sun Tzu and the ideas promoted by Sun Tzu got accepted everywhere. Einstein, we need to build an atom bomb. The idea got accepted and we didn't get blown up by Hitler. Milton Friedman and the idea, the dumb idea of having a futures market, they all follow the same structure. Massive authority, idea that gets accepted without question. So next time you hear an idea, ask yourself, does this idea stand on its own? Or am I accepting this only because it comes from a recognized authority figure? But ultimately, it might not make any difference because according to historians and philosophers and people that study this kind of thing, Socrates, one of the smartest dudes of all time, found out through his extensive research that whatever we believe is not true anyway. Thank you.